What Buddhism teaches about money and peace. Have you ever noticed that the harder people chase money, the less peaceful they become? In today's world, many people wake up stressed, rush through traffic, stare at screens all day, and sacrifice their health just to earn more. They dream about financial freedom, yet even after getting promotions, bigger houses, or luxury cars, something still feels missing inside. Anxiety remains, fear remains, restlessness remains. Why? Because according to Buddhism, suffering does not come from money itself. It comes from attachment to money, from believing that happiness is always somewhere in the future, one paycheck away, one achievement away, one purchase away. And this may be one of the most important lessons the modern world desperately needs to hear. If you enjoy videos about Buddhist wisdom, inner peace, and mindful living, make sure to subscribe to Buddha Flash and join our journey toward a calmer and more meaningful life. The modern world constantly tells us that success equals happiness. From childhood, many people are taught to study harder, work longer, and earn more because money is supposed to solve everything. And to be fair, money does matter. It provides food, shelter, healthcare, safety, and opportunities. Buddhism does not deny this reality. But Buddhism asks a deeper question. At what point does enough become enough? Because for many people, enough never arrives. Someone earning $50,000 wants 100,000. Someone with one house wants 2. Someone with fame fears losing it. The cycle never ends. Desire grows faster than satisfaction. This endless craving is what Buddhism calls one of the roots of suffering. The Buddha observed something timeless about human nature. The mind always wants more, and when it gets what it wants, the happiness usually fades quickly. A new desire appears almost immediately. It's like drinking salt water to quench thirst. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. Look around at modern society. People are more connected than ever through technology, yet loneliness is rising. People own more conveniences than previous generations ever imagined, yet stress and burnout have become normal. Many spend their entire lives chasing financial success, only to realize they forgot how to enjoy life itself. Buddhism teaches that peace cannot be found through endless accumulation, because external things are temporary by nature. Money can disappear, Jobs can change. Markets can crash. Status can fade. Even the body eventually grows old. When we attach our identity and happiness to unstable things, fear naturally follows. Fear of losing, fear of failure, fear of not having enough. And this fear quietly steals peace from millions of people every day. There is a story often told in Buddhist teachings about a wealthy merchant who lived in constant anxiety. He owned beautiful homes, expensive clothes, and businesses across the region. Everyone admired his success. But every night, he struggled to sleep. He worried about thieves. He worried about competitors. He worried about losing his fortune. One evening, while traveling, he encountered a monk sitting peacefully beneath a tree. The monk owned almost nothing, just simple robes and a bowl for food. Yet his face radiated calmness. The merchant asked him, "How can you be so peaceful with so little?" The monk smiled and replied, "How can you be so restless with so much?" That question haunted the merchant, and maybe it should haunt us too, because modern culture often confuses comfort with happiness. Comfort is temporary pleasure. Peace is inner stability. Comfort depends on conditions. Peace comes from the mind. A person can sleep in a luxury mansion and still feel empty inside. Another person can live simply and experience deep gratitude every single day. Buddhism does not teach poverty. It teaches freedom. Freedom from greed. Freedom from obsession. Freedom from constantly comparing ourselves to others. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of peace in the modern age. Social media has made this even worse. Every day, people scroll through images of expensive vacations, perfect homes, designer brands, and carefully edited lifestyles. Slowly, they begin to feel behind in life. But Buddhism reminds us that comparison creates suffering because it traps the mind in constant dissatisfaction. Instead of appreciating what we already have, we focus on what others possess. And the tragedy is that even those who seem successful are often struggling internally too. Many wealthy individuals privately battle anxiety, loneliness, depression, or fear. Some achieve everything they once dreamed of and still feel incomplete. Why? Because inner emptiness cannot be filled with external possessions. The Buddha taught that attachment is like carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. The more attached we become to money, status, and material success, the heavier the burden becomes. Think about how much stress people carry just trying to maintain an image. Some buy things they cannot afford to impress people they barely know. Some sacrifice their health chasing promotions. Some destroy relationships because work becomes more important than family. Some lose years of their lives trapped in constant pressure. And yet, society applauds them because they look successful from the outside. But Buddhism asks us to look deeper. Are you peaceful when you are alone? Can you sit quietly without feeling restless? Do you enjoy your life right now? Or are you always waiting for the next achievement before allowing yourself to feel happy? These questions matter more than most people realize. Because one day, every person eventually discovers a difficult truth. No amount of money can fully protect the human mind from suffering. Money can buy entertainment, but not peace. It can buy a bed, but not restful sleep. It can buy attention, but not genuine love. It can buy distraction, but not inner freedom. This is why Buddhism places so much importance on mindfulness and contentment. Contentment does not mean giving up ambition or refusing to improve your life. It means no longer believing that your worth depends on constantly having more. A peaceful person may still work hard. They may still build success. They may still earn wealth. But they do not worship money. They do not build their identity around it. And they do not sacrifice their soul for it. Instead, they understand that money is a tool, not the meaning of life. And perhaps this is the greatest misunderstanding in modern society. People spend decades trying to build a successful life externally, while neglecting the inner world completely. But if the mind is filled with greed, fear, envy, and attachment, no amount of wealth will ever feel like enough. So if money alone cannot create lasting peace, then what can? The Buddhist way to handle money without losing your soul. So if money alone cannot create lasting peace, how should we relate to money? This is where Buddhism offers a radically different perspective from modern society. Many people assume Buddhism teaches that wealth is bad, or that spiritual people must reject success entirely. But that is not what the Buddha taught. Buddhism does not say you must become poor to find peace. Instead, it teaches that suffering begins when money controls your mind instead of serving your life. Money itself is neutral. In the hands of wisdom, it can support family, generosity, education, healing, and meaningful work. In the hands of greed, it can create obsession, pride, fear, and endless dissatisfaction. The difference is not the amount of money someone has. The difference is their relationship with it. One of the most important Buddhist teachings related to work and wealth is something called Right Livelihood. The Buddha encouraged people to earn money honestly and ethically without harming others through deception, exploitation, or greed. This idea feels especially relevant today. Modern culture often celebrates success at any cost. People are admired for becoming rich, even when their success destroys their health, relationships, or integrity. Some lie, manipulate, or step on others just to climb higher. Outwardly, they appear successful, but inwardly, many feel disconnected and exhausted. Buddhism asks a simple but powerful question. What is the cost of your peace? Because if success requires sacrificing your values, your mental health, or your humanity, then the price may be too high. A peaceful life is not built only on what you earn. It is also built on how you earn it. The Buddha also taught something deeply important about attachment. The more tightly we cling to things, the more fear we create. When people attach their identity to wealth, they begin living in constant anxiety. They fear losing money. They fear losing status. They fear appearing unsuccessful. They fear being judged. This is why many people can never truly relax, even after becoming financially successful. Their external life improves, but their inner world remains unstable. Buddhism teaches us to use money as a tool, not as an identity. This means you can enjoy comfort without becoming addicted to it. You can appreciate success without worshiping it. You can build wealth without allowing wealth to define your worth. And that mindset changes everything. Imagine two people with the exact same income. The first person constantly compares themselves to others. They spend beyond their means, trying to maintain an image. Every purchase becomes emotional. They chase luxury, not because they need it, but because they want validation. No matter how much they earn, they feel behind. The second person lives differently. They spend mindfully. They value simplicity. They are grateful for what they already have. They are not obsessed with proving themselves to strangers. Because of this, they experience more peace despite having the same amount of money. The external circumstances may look similar, but internally, they live in completely different worlds. One trapped by desire, the other guided by awareness. This is why Buddhism places such strong emphasis on mindfulness. Mindfulness changes the way we spend, work, and live. Instead of impulsively buying things to escape stress, mindful people pause and ask themselves, do I truly need this? Will this bring lasting value to my life? Am I buying this for happiness or for approval? These small moments of awareness can protect us from years of unnecessary suffering. In modern American culture, consumerism is everywhere. Advertising constantly tells people they are incomplete without the newest phone, newest car, newest trend, or newest lifestyle. Entire industries are built on making people feel inadequate, so they continue consuming. But Buddhism teaches that peace begins the moment we stop believing we are incomplete. That realization is incredibly freeing, because once you stop chasing endless validation, life becomes lighter. You no longer need to impress everyone. You no longer measure your worth through possessions. You no longer feel trapped in constant competition. And perhaps, most importantly, you begin appreciating what is already here. Gratitude is one of the greatest forms of wealth. A grateful person experiences abundance even in ordinary moments. A quiet morning, a meaningful conversation, a meal shared with family, a peaceful walk outside. Meanwhile, someone trapped in endless craving may live surrounded by luxury while feeling emotionally empty. The Buddha understood something modern society often forgets. Desire expands endlessly unless we learn how to manage it. That is why simplicity plays such a powerful role in Buddhist teachings. Simplicity is not about deprivation. It is about freedom. Freedom from clutter. Freedom from unnecessary stress. Freedom from constantly needing more. Many people discover that the more possessions they accumulate, the more mentally exhausted they become. More bills, more maintenance, more pressure, more comparison. Yet some of the happiest people live remarkably simple lives because their happiness is not dependent on constant consumption. There is also another powerful Buddhist practice connected to money: generosity. At first, generosity may seem unrelated to peace, but Buddhism teaches that giving weakens attachment and opens the heart. Greed says, "There is not enough." Generosity says, "I already have enough to share." That mindset creates emotional abundance. generous people often experience deeper fulfillment than people obsessed only with accumulation. Why? Because human beings naturally find meaning through connection, compassion, and contribution. Some of the most peaceful individuals are not those who own the most, but those who live with open hearts. And this lesson becomes especially important in a culture that constantly pushes people to compete against one another. Buddhism offers another path, a calmer path, a slower path, a more conscious path. It teaches that real success is not measured only by income, status, or possessions. True success is measured by the quality of your mind and the peace within your heart. Because at the end of life, people rarely regret not buying more things. More often, they regret the peace they sacrificed chasing them. So maybe the richest life does not belong to the person who owns the most. Maybe it belongs to the person who finally realizes they do not need endless more to feel complete. And in the final part, we will explore the deepest Buddhist truth of all: why inner peace may be the greatest form of wealth a human being can ever possess. True wealth is inner peace. At the end of life, every human being faces the same reality. No matter how rich, powerful, or successful someone becomes, they cannot take their possessions with them. The expensive cars remain behind. The bank accounts stay behind. The titles, awards, and status eventually fade into memory. Buddhism teaches that everything in the material world is temporary. Money changes, bodies age, relationships shift, circumstances rise and fall. This truth is called impermanence, and understanding it can completely transform the way we live. Most people spend their lives trying to hold tightly to things that were never meant to last forever. And because they cling so tightly, they suffer deeply whenever life changes. But Buddhism teaches another way. Instead of clinging, we learn to appreciate. Instead of obsessing, we learn to accept. Instead of constantly chasing more, we learn to be fully present with what already exists. And this is where true peace begins. The modern world rarely encourages people to slow down and reflect. Everything moves fast. Faster careers, faster entertainment, faster consumption. Many people are so busy pursuing the future that they never truly experience the present moment. Yet according to Buddhism, peace is never found in the future. It can only be experienced now. This is why some people spend decades chasing happiness and still feel empty when they finally achieve their goals. They believed happiness existed somewhere ahead of them, after the promotion, after the dream house, after financial success. But when they arrive there, the mind creates another target, another desire, another fear, another reason to postpone peace. The Buddha saw this cycle clearly over 2,500 years ago. Yet it remains painfully relevant today. There is a powerful image that reflects this truth. Imagine two individuals. The first person is wealthy beyond imagination. They own multiple homes, luxury cars, and endless investments. From the outside, their life looks perfect. But internally, they are consumed by stress. They constantly worry about losing their wealth. They cannot relax without checking their phone. Their mind is always racing toward the next deal, the next achievement, the next problem. Now imagine another person. They live simply. They may not own much, but they wake up each morning with gratitude. They enjoy quiet moments. They value relationships more than status. They are not trapped in endless comparison. When difficulties arise, they remain calm because their inner peace does not depend entirely on external conditions. Who is truly wealthy? Buddhism would say, the second person may possess the greater treasure, because inner peace is a form of wealth that cannot be stolen by the economy, destroyed by bad luck, or taken away by time. This does not mean life becomes perfect. Even peaceful people experience pain, loss, uncertainty, and challenges. Buddhism does not promise a life without hardship. Instead, it teaches us how to meet hardship without becoming consumed by it. A calm mind changes everything. When the mind is peaceful, small problems no longer feel overwhelming. When the mind is attached, even small inconveniences create suffering. This is why Buddhism places such importance on training the mind through mindfulness, compassion, and awareness. The real battle is not outside of us. It is within us. Many people spend years trying to control the external world while never learning how to understand their own thoughts, fears, and desires. But external success without inner stability often leads to emptiness. You can see this everywhere in modern society. Celebrities, billionaires, and highly successful individuals sometimes openly admit they still struggle with loneliness, anxiety, or lack of meaning. Some achieve everything they dreamed of, only to realize peace was never included in the package. Because peace cannot be purchased. It grows slowly inside a person who learns how to let go. Let go of constant comparison. Let go of endless craving. Let go of the need to prove their worth to the world. And perhaps one of the deepest Buddhist truths is this: the less you need from the world to feel complete, the freer you become. Freedom is not always about having unlimited choices or unlimited money. Sometimes freedom means no longer being emotionally controlled by every desire, fear, or attachment. A person addicted to approval is not free. A person consumed by greed is not free. A person constantly chasing validation is not free. But someone who can sit quietly, appreciate life, and remain peaceful even during uncertainty has discovered something incredibly rare. They have discovered inner freedom. This is why Buddhism often emphasizes simplicity. Not because simple living is morally superior, but because simplicity creates space for clarity. When life becomes less cluttered with endless distractions and unnecessary desires, the heart becomes lighter. People begin noticing the beauty of ordinary moments again. A conversation with someone they love, the sound of rain outside, a peaceful morning before the world wakes up, a quiet breath after a stressful day. These moments may seem small, but together they create a meaningful life. And ironically, many people only realize this after years of exhausting themselves, chasing things they thought would finally make them happy. The Buddha taught that peace does not come from controlling life perfectly. It comes from changing our relationship with life itself. When we stop demanding that the world constantly satisfy our desires, we suffer less. When we learn gratitude, compassion, and contentment, life becomes richer in a way money alone can never provide. So perhaps true wealth is not measured by how much someone owns. Perhaps it is measured by how peaceful they remain when life becomes difficult. Can they still smile without luxury? Can they still feel grateful during uncertainty? Can they still love deeply without attachment controlling them? That may be the real measure of a successful life. Because in the end, people rarely remember how much someone owned. They remember their kindness, their calmness, their wisdom, their presence. So slow down sometimes. Take a breath Step away from the endless noise. Ask yourself what truly matters, because one peaceful mind is worth more than 1,000 restless desires. If this video helped you reflect more deeply about money, happiness, and inner peace, make sure to subscribe to Buddha Flash for more Buddhist wisdom and mindful life lessons. And share this video with someone who may need a little more peace in their life today. Now tell us in the comments, what brings you more peace in life? Having more or needing less?